Darren Williams. I wonder.
Testing. 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 Testing.
You can get started with this business running in 1 to 2 hours per day. I'm going to share with you a couple case studies of a couple gentlemen that started while they were working full-time jobs.
Testing.
They grew from there. If you have more time to dedicate, you're probably going to see success a little bit faster.
Testing.
Testing.
All right, I got having issues with that. Get started here in just a second. Issues with my. Why is it echoing? There we go. Okay. All right, we're gonna get started here. Welcome to the webinar: How to Launch a Job Replacing E-commerce Store Without Sacrificing Your Money, Your Sanity, or Your Reputation. Just make sure here. All right, there we go. So before we continue, I want to share with you why e-commerce is the ultimate lifestyle business and how you can get started in as little as 1 to 2 hours per day. Even if you're working a full-time job, I'm going to share with you how you can visualize your way to success and exactly how I use this to take my dad on a trip of a lifetime last spring. I'm going to share with you the counterintuitive way to find a passionate niche and why you want to go against the grain. I'm going to share with you 5 websites you can buy products from today and sell for 3 to 10x. I'm also going to share with you how to use your customers' money to buy the items, virtually eliminating any risk on your part. And then I'm going to share with you the shockingly simple 5 steps to launching a job replacing e-commerce store. So the ultimate lifestyle business, pretty much if you start just about any internet business, a lot of people tout the whole working from anywhere. You can get started with a laptop and an internet connection. You can do that with e-commerce as well. A lot of people think e-commerce, you have to have a warehouse, things like that. You have to be local or tied down to where your local area is. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. You do not need to have a warehouse. You do not need to be tied to a specific area. You literally can run it anywhere in the world with a laptop and internet connection. You can run this business, or you can run this business in 1 to 2 hours per day. You can certainly start with 1 to 2 hours per day. If you're looking to build a multi-million-dollar e-commerce business, this webinar probably isn't for you, and it's probably going to take more than 1 to 2 hours. I am in it for the lifestyle. I'm not in it to build a massive, huge business with a ton of overhead. It's very easy to hire help. You can hire help to work on customer support, do Facebook maintenance, answering messages, answering comments, posting on Facebook, warehouse coordination, product selection, order fulfillment, etc. It's very easy to scale up once you hire help. These kind of work together. Once I hired, in the 3rd month, I decided to hire a lady. It was a friend of my sister's. And as soon as I was doing about $100 a day in sales, and I hired her, and within, I think it was 7 to 10 days, we were doing $300 to $400 a day. And it was because she was doing a lot of the behind the scenes work, and I was working on the business, growing the business, and working, launching more Facebook ads and things like that. So hiring help allowed me to scale much, much, much faster. And if I would have known it, I wish I would have hired help a lot faster, because it was, it catapulted me. So this business allows me to, there's Ava and Ashton in a wagon. We typically take, or I try to take them on like a daily walk. We go to play in the park, depending on the weather, obviously, but it allows me, we can take wagon rides often. This is Ava. She rides on the school bus. She's only 3 and she rides on the school bus. It's amazing. I had no idea, but I can put her on the bus every morning, and she also gets dropped off at about 11:30, and I'm here to pick her up, or I'm here when she gets dropped off. This is Ashton playing with a little stick at the park. This is Ava. We had lunch together that day. It looks like she had spaghetti, and she got more on her face than she probably did in her belly. But again, this business allows me to have lunch with her, with him, take walks, put him on the bus, off the bus, things like that. So my promise to you, today I'm going to share with you a step-by-step strategy for launching a job-replacing e-commerce store in the next 30 days without sacrificing your money, your sanity, or your reputation. So does this sound like you? Are you a dad with debt working 50 hours per week? Do you hate your 9-to-5, feel trapped, but know you need to provide for your family? Do you have a desire to build an online business to make a decent income that allows you more time to spend with your family? Do you feel like you have no direction, no support, and no strategy to help you build an online business? The real problem? You're not Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Totally kidding, totally kidding. I just recently watched, this is a brand new slide I just added into this webinar actually about an hour ago. I just watched the Warren Buffett documentary on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's excellent, excellent. Very, very, very interesting man. Very interesting man. That's all I'll say. I'm still a big fan, but my opinion did change of him a bit because they have his kids and things like that. So just interesting. But however, when Bill Gates and Warren Buffett first met years and years and years ago, it was at a dinner event, and Bill Gates's mom was like, she was like the dinner host, and there was, I don't know how many people that were there, but there was a group of people eating dinner, and I think she had passed out like note cards and pens or something, and had said, "What is the secret to your success, or what is the one reason for your success?" And passed out all these note cards to all the people at the dinner table. And Bill Gates and Warren Buffett wrote one word down, and it was the same word. They weren't sitting by each other. They weren't copying off each other, nothing like that, but they wrote the same word down. And I found that very, very, very interesting. The one word that they both wrote down that was their secret to success was focus. I see that as a huge, 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 huge problem in the entrepreneurial world, in the online marketing, internet marketing world. With no focus, this allows you to jump from business idea to business idea. This is extremely common. A lot of people tout the whole, you have to have multiple income streams, and everyone says that. And they don't mean start 6 things at once. They mean start one business, get it going, get it automated, then start a second business or a second income stream, a third one. Most people take that as, I need to start 6 businesses at once or 4 or 5 things at once. It's like watering. There's a YouTube video I listen to all the time, and he talks about watering a garden. And he's like, if you water the same plant over and over and over again, it's going to grow, 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 grow. But if you spread that water out, the plants aren't going to grow as much. It's all about focus in that. So when you're not focused, you're truly not all in on anything, and you start and stop, start and stop. I like comparing it to swimming across a lake. I don't know where I came up with this analogy years ago. It's like swimming halfway across the lake, getting halfway and tired or bored, and turning around and going back. It's the same thing as swimming across the lake. You're halfway across, swimming halfway back. That means you would have swam across the whole lake. So a lot of people swim 20% across, or 25%, or 30%, or 70%, and then they just constantly change direction. Then they're tired, they're in the middle of the lake, and they're drowning. Idea to idea, idea. They're not focused. They're not committed, and they're not, you must commit to something, and you must decide. I guess you should decide first. Decide on something and then commit to that. So from what I've noticed in the last 7 years being online, successful entrepreneurs are focused on one business model, and they keep things simple. Now, there are some that have complex business models and things like that, but when people are getting started, the successful ones, the ones that shoot to the top, it seems like they are the ones focused on one business model, and it's almost too simple, it seems like. So keeping things simple is a big part of it. And of course, this is a quote. Now we're talking Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and now Steve Jobs. Focus and simplicity. Once you get there, you can move mountains. 3 billionaires, 3 people that have revolutionized the world, and they all mention focus for being a part of success. So that is that's the biggest problem, as I see, is focus. People are all over the map. Put on your blinders for 90 days and go all in on one project. I'm not going to say you're going to have $1 million business in 90 days, but you will be gaining traction. One business model, go all in, put your blinders in 90 days, and you'll be gaining some traction. So about me, I'm a stay-at-home dad with 2 beautiful, healthy little kids, Ava on the left, Ashton on the right. This was Father's Day last year, so this is almost a year old. But in my first year, my first Shopify store did a little over $260,000. I've been an online entrepreneur since 2010. I had a post in the Huffington Post. I had a writer one time link to a blog post of mine in the New York Times. I wrote an article about Will Ferrell. It was about Anchorman 2. And I tied in small business, a lesson in small businesses. And a writer in the New York Times linked to it on the New York Times. I thought that was super cool. So I haven't been featured in the New York Times, but I've been like linked to, which I thought that was pretty cool. I was expecting like loads of traffic to my website, loads of interviews, probably a front page cover story. I got nothing. I think I had like 12 visitors. I don't even think it was 12 visitors. It was pretty disappointing, but still cool that a writer wrote a story and he linked to my blog post. And then Ramison College, it's like an online college. They had asked me about online marketing years ago, and I got quoted in an article. So I prefer cheeseburgers over steak. After 25 years of great gray skies and snow in April, I left Michigan for the bright lights of Sin City. I moved out here with no job, no connections, no place to live, actually. And somehow, 11 years later, I'm still here. My specialty is helping dadpreneurs build an online business while raising a family all at the same time. Again, I'm in it for the lifestyle. I am not here to grind and hustle my face off. That is not what that is not what I teach. I'm lazy. I want to be efficient with my work. I am nothing special. Self-doubt, I deal with it every single day. 25 minutes ago, I was doubting starting this webinar, going through all the things, what could go wrong? What if the slides crash? What if I trip up on my words? What if it crashes down? Self-doubt, something I constantly deal with. I think I'll deal with it for the rest of my life. It's just I'm noticing I'm getting better at managing it. That's kind of the secret with self-doubt. So a confession, when I got started in this business in 2010, I had huge dreams. The house in the Hollywood Hills, multiple Lamborghinis and Ferraris, a chef who grills me cheeseburgers every single night. I was going to eat pizza for breakfast, ice cream Sundays for lunch, and I was going to hire someone who folds my laundry and puts it away for me, because that's the one chore I absolutely hate. And then, of course, I was going to have another helper do my grocery shopping, because that is another chore I absolutely hate. I made some money, but I struggled for years. It was very up and down. Some months were okay. Some months were horrible. Some months were good, but it was just such a roller coaster ride. When I got started, I cold called over 5,000 businesses, and I sold 2 websites. So obviously my cold call skills, they're nothing. They didn't put food on the table. Let's just say that. I cashed out my 401k. There wasn't a lot of money in there, but I cashed it out to keep the dream alive. One client I was working with, he didn't pay his bill, so I took his website down, and he threatened to put me through a meat grinder. He was a jeweler out here in Las Vegas, and hey, you never know. So I put his website back up. I was pretty scared. But anyways, the end result, I was frustrated. I was overwhelmed. I was lost and I was scared, and all I wanted was to make consistent income, consistency. That's what I was after. So the turning point, I had a friend reach out to me in 2015 multiple times. I'm not sure why she was so persistent with it, was asking if I wanted to, or if I had any experience with Shopify and e-commerce. And at the time, I was doing local marketing. I was working with real estate agents and helping them with Facebook advertising. And I was also dabbling in Amazon world, doing FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, kind of an e-commerce, selling physical products on Amazon. I was not focused. I was trying to do both of those things. I was trying to get away from the local marketing is what I was trying to do, and I was trying to get into Amazon. I was doing Amazon for about 2.5 months, and I was not successful with it. I had a couple $1,000s in the course and in inventory tied up or invested in, and I had not even made a sale after about 2.5 months. And then when you make sales on Amazon, you pretty much have to give the product away. You have to discount it about 90%, which you're still losing money on, to kind of game the system and get reviews. So I was still losing money on this, this first go around with these products. So this friend kept asking about Shopify, and finally I gave in, and I was like, all right, I'll check out this Shopify and this drop ship thing. I ended up I opened a Shopify store on a Thursday. I launched ads Thursday night. I made a sale Friday morning. I made a sale in less than 24 hours. I didn't have to buy the product because I drop shipped it. And comparing this to the Amazon business that was like 75 days in, and I was a couple $1,000s in, and I hadn't even made a sale, hadn't even made a profit, I was blown away with how easy the Shopify model was, and how fast the sale came. My website was not perfect. I was missing an about page. I probably had 3 or 4 products in the store. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a logo. It was a mess, but it made a sale. And then I did it again, and I made another sale. And so in June of 2015, I think I did $252 in sales, certainly not retirement money. In July, I spent a little more time. I think I did a little over $2,000, $2,200, I think it was. And I noticed, wow, this is working. This is working a lot better than Amazon. So at the end of July, I made a decision and said, you know what, I'm done with this Amazon business. This was a money suck. This was, I guess, a big learning experience. Basically, it was a big failure. And so I took it out back like a old wounded dog, and I shot the Amazon business, put it out of its misery. I was done with the Amazon business. I couldn't do it any longer. Told myself I'm not going to focus on picking up any more real estate clients. I was still working with 4 agents at the time. I was still going to service them. However, I was not going to spend any more time on generating new business, which is a bulk of the time if you were ever in that business. So I was going to go all in on Shopify. And I was not going to quit until I saw real consistent results. And in my 3rd month, like I said in the previous, a couple slides ago, I did about $15,000 in sales, which I think it was right around $6,000 in profit. I think it was like $5,700 in profit, $5,600 or $5,800, somewhere in there, just under $6,000 in profit, which blew me away. $15,000 in sales, that was a better month than I'd ever had in all the previous 5 years. And what happened next was rather unexpected. When I started focused, I built momentum. It was like a snowball going downhill. Whoops. So my life was forever changed. I started knocking out debt. I started paying off the car. I started knocking down credit cards. I started chipping away at the student loan debt. I had some little medical bills, nothing too major, just those lingering ones, you know. I started knocking those down, and some miscellaneous stuff over the years. So I ended up paying off my credit cards in September of 2015 completely. I have not had a credit card in probably 5 years. I have 0 credit card debt. I refuse to ever have a credit card again. I paid off my car the beginning of 2016. Student loans, I made a huge, considerably. I still have a little bit to go with student loans. Medical bills, I wiped those all out. But that was when, like I said, I started building momentum, and it was because I was focused on one business model, and things started clicking. Things started working very, very, very well. So here's why this is important. Brandon used my proven strategy and quit his job after 4 months of implementing the Piss Off Boss program. And I'm going to get into more details about Brandon here in a little bit. So this is a shockingly simple system for starting a job replacing e-commerce business without sacrificing your money, your sanity, or your reputation. I want to help you tell your boss to piss off in the next 6 months. So now let's go over the 5 keys to a job replacing e-commerce store. Number 1 is mastering your mind. This is absolutely, without a doubt, the most important step in any business. Online, offline, it doesn't matter. You have to master your mind. Your thoughts become your thing. So mastering your mind is the foundation for any type of business, any online business. You have to get this right, because honestly, this business I'm about to reveal to you, it's 90% mindset and 10% strategy and tactics. It's a very simple business model. However, it's the 6 inches between our ears that screw us all up. So number 1, I meditate on a daily basis. I'm trying to increase this. I'm trying to do about 25 minutes per day of meditation. Excuse me. This is very, very important. That's made a big, big difference. I was kind of lazy with it. I usually do about 5 minutes a day. However, just recently, I've increased it big time to 20 to 25 minutes a day to just kind of calm my head, calm that brain of mine. Number 2 is I journal. This is something I've done for years. I journal every single morning, First thing I do in the morning is I journal. Before I touch my phone, before I touch Facebook, before I check email, before I check anything, I sit down at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee and I journal. I write, usually 2 to 3 pages. Every single day I read, absolutely. This is a non-negotiable, so I read books. Every month I have a goal of reading 2 books a month, and that takes, I need to dedicate 20 to 30 minutes a day reading. Number 4, daily intentions. What these are is I write out these statements, these I am statements. I act as if I'm already there. So I say, I am debt-free. I am happy. I am proud of myself. I helped 8 dads quit their jobs this week. I drive a white Tesla. The kids and I take a vacation 4 times a year. All the types of things. I probably about 20 to 25 of these. This is in my journaling that I do every single morning. Here's a picture of my dad and I. It's actually a picture that my mom took at their house, and I had my graphic designer remove the background, and then I had him put the picture of my dad and I onto the background of a picture I found on Google of the Masters, which is a golf tournament in Augusta, Georgia, every April. My dad's birthday is April 9th, so it falls on the Masters is usually the first week of April, first or second week. So his birthday always falls in that time frame. I've always wanted to take him to the Masters. It's extremely expensive. It is definitely the most well-known golf tournament in the world, but it's extremely expensive, so I was never able to do it. So for years I wanted to do it, and last year I had this image made. I put it on my desktop computer, and every single day I would minimize all my windows throughout the day and just kind of stare at this picture, and I would just visualize us going to the Masters. I would visualize the airplane ride. I would visualize kind of where we were sitting, what we were wearing, how it smelled, the temperature. I would try to use all 5 of my senses. I find using all 5 of your senses, it certainly makes it more real. You can feel it, you can taste it, you can smell it, you know. And so I would picture the hotel, what type of hotel, what the color of the hotel, what color the rental car, my dad driving, myself driving, getting to the Masters, touching the grass and the grounds and all that, what it smelled like, the birds chirping and things like that. Really, really visualized it. I read it out loud every single day. I will take my dad to the Masters for his birthday this year. This is something from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, of saying he suggests doing it twice a day. I only did it once a day. And here is my dad and I last April at the Masters. Unfortunately, I was not allowed to take my phone into the Masters, which I didn't know that till I got there. And so we couldn't take any pictures inside the ground. So we had to do it after we were exiting here at the sign. But it was all because I visualized it and I wrote it down. Or not wrote it down, I said it aloud, and the Shopify store paid for it. But again, it was because I visualized it. It's law of attraction. I'm a big believer in it. However, you have to have a plan and you have to be working. I'm not saying you could visualize $2 million tonight and have it just land on your kitchen table. You have to be doing the work, and that's what I was doing with my Shopify store. I was doing the work, and I was able to afford this trip that was, I think it was around $4,000. The tickets were $1,400 a piece, and we went to the practice round. The actual tickets to the event Thursday through Sunday, I think they started around $2,000. But however, the practice round was the one recommended to go to, and it because it's more laid back. So we had an awesome, awesome time. My dad said it was the best birthday he's ever had. I'm hoping to make it an annual trip. So that is the power of visualization. I have other examples as well. However, this is definitely the most powerful one. So number 2 is you need to decide on a niche market. You want to find a passionate audience. You want to find people who are currently spending money. Competition isn't necessarily a bad thing. These kind of two go, the number 2 and number 3 here, or these second and third bullet points kind of go together. If you're going to be in a competitive space, you must have kind of a unique angle or a USP, a unique selling proposition. Most online stores that I see do not have a unique, or I shouldn't say most, a lot of the marketers who are starting like a Shopify business, they do not focus on the USP. That is old school marketing and advertising from, I think, like the 30s. And having a unique selling proposition, I think, is more important now in the online e-commerce world. So I think it's even more important now to have a very strong, unique selling proposition. It's something I cover in my training. I have a worksheet to go through. I have training on how to Create a clear, compelling, concise, unique selling proposition. So this is extremely important if you're going to be in a competitive space. Even if you're not going to be in a competitive space, you must have a unique selling proposition. So I'm a big fan of zigging while others are zagging. Most people have that sheep mentality, that herd mentality, where they focus. They go where everybody else goes. And most people that I see doing the Shopify business model start with they go in the jewelry space, which obviously isn't a niche, but they go in the jewelry space, the dog and or cat niche. Those three are just so extremely competitive. Not worth it. Like I said, zig when others are zagging. And then last but not least, I think this is probably the most overlooked part, in my opinion. And arguably the most important factor. You must have an interest or passion for it. I was selling women's jewelry, made very, very good money. However, I hit a wall and I couldn't do it anymore. I burned out because I chased the money and just couldn't do it anymore. So I stopped my store. I pretty much walked away from it. Wish I would have sold it, but I just walked away from it. I couldn't do it. I just got burned out selling women's jewelry. I'm a 35-year-old man. What do I have in common with a 58-year-old lady in Iowa looking to buy a butterfly necklace? I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't get excited for it anymore. I chased the money. It provided me some awesome things like the trip to the Masters, knocking down debt and that, and I'm grateful for that. However, and skills with e-commerce. However, I just didn't like selling women's jewelry anymore and just couldn't do it. So this is a big one. A lot of people are all about the money, making the most money possible, and then you talk to them later on, and they're not fulfilled. So do something that you have an interest in. Do something you have a passion for. You will have slow days, slow weeks, possibly slow months. And if you're doing something you don't enjoy, you're going to throw in the towel like I did. So learn from my mistakes is basically what I'm saying. Do something. You don't have to be 100% passionate about it, but have an interest in it. Be able to talk about it. What do you like to do? What do you buy online? That's a good one. What do you buy online? Why not start something around what you buy online? So this is very, very important. Have an interest and or a passion in it. So number 3 is you need to find suppliers. And what a lot of people do to start off this business is they find things overseas in China. AliExpress is probably the most popular website, and it's a good website. You can certainly use it. I'm not putting it down. I think it's good to get started with, but I think you should transition and bulk buy from one of these suppliers, AliExpress, let's say, bulk buy and then ship it, use like a warehouse and ship it. We'll get into that next slide. So you can use eBay. A lot of overseas suppliers on eBay, Wish, Light in the Box, and Everbuying. Those are a couple of the other popular ones. However, AliExpress and eBay are probably the 2 most popular. What you do is buy from those websites, and you put in your customer's shipping address and all that onto that website, and then they ship it to your customer for you. So no inventory on your end. The negatives, the downside is the delay. The shipments are going to take anywhere from, let's say, 10 to 18 days. Some could take a little longer, probably not much shorter. So there's a delayed shipping time. That will be the number one complaint from customers. However, some people are okay with it. I should say most people are okay with it if you're upfront with them and honest about it. You have it on all your product pages that please expect this delay. Packaging, a lot of the packaging is going to have Chinese writing or Mandarin writing, so that's another downside. And a lot of times the packaging gets pretty damn beat up. It's in a yellow envelope, and it looks like it got ran over by a car 17 times. It gets all black, and it just gets really messed up. So again, I did it. That's how I started. When I find a winning product, then I would bulk purchase 100, 200, 400, 500 necklaces, earrings, whatever it is, and then I would ship it to a warehouse in Idaho, and then I would have them ship it out. So I could have my branding on it, much faster shipping. It wouldn't have Chinese and Mandarin writing on it. So you can kind of use like a hybrid approach. Or you can use US suppliers from day one. There are a ton of US suppliers out there, and you can go to Google, and how you find US suppliers is you type in niche plus the keyword. Or you could do, niche keyword. Let's say you were doing fishing rods as an example. So you'd say fishing rod suppliers, fishing rod drop shippers, fishing rod wholesalers, fishing rod suppliers, wholesalers, drop shippers. Those are the 3 popular ones that I can think of. And then you just kind of go through Google and you look for these lists, or you look for these websites with wholesalers selling fishing rods, or suppliers selling fishing rods, or if you're doing dog collars, whatever you're selling, that is how you do it. It's some manual work, manual labor, but it's very effective. I found a great sterling silver supplier in Austin, Texas. It was on like the 17th or 18th page of Google. I just kept looking. I kept looking. And I found a diamond. In my program, I offer 476 US-based suppliers and drop shippers. I did all the manual work on all the heavy lifting. That's included in the program, so you don't have to worry about that. Number 4 is you need to pick a platform. Now, there's a ton of e-commerce platforms, softwares out there. Shopify is the big one. It's the very, very popular one. It's the one that I have experience with. You don't need any web design experience. It's very plug and play. They offer hundreds, if not thousands, of templates and themes that you can use to make your store look nice. Free themes. They also offer paid themes. To get started, I'd recommend just using a free one. I think I did 200,000 in sales on a free theme, and then I switched over to a custom theme or a premium theme, and I didn't notice a difference in sales. I didn't see an increase or anything. BigCommerce is another one. I do not have any experience with that. I think it's similar to Shopify. ClickFunnels is more of an internet marketing tool. However, a lot more people are using it for the selling physical products. I'm just getting into that. It's quite a bit different from Shopify. WooCommerce is a plug-in piece of software that plugs onto WordPress websites. I don't have any experience. I've heard good things. And Magento is another e-commerce platform. I do not have experience. And I really haven't heard anything about Magento. I'm sure it's great, though, because I've heard of it. And so 4.1 is build the store. And what you want to do is you're going to want to use images from your suppliers. They'll typically have images, or you just use them from their website. You'll increase the price 2.5. I would recommend at the very minimum increasing the price 2.5 to 3x. If they sell it for $5, I would say sell it for $15 or $12.50 at the very minimum, to $12.50. And then if you can go higher, you could certainly go higher. But if you can't increase the price by like 2.5 at the minimum, it's going to be tough. Margins are going to probably be too thin. You need to create a product name. A lot of times US suppliers, they have the product names for you. They have the product descriptions for you, which is really, really nice. You don't have to come up with them, but they have the product name. If you do AliExpress and eBay, typically you have to come up with the name because their names are really weird, and then they don't have a product description. So you have to come up with that. This next one, product description. Extremely, extremely, extremely important. If you're not going to use US suppliers, or even if you are using US suppliers, sometimes they have product descriptions. Some are okay. Some are actually, no, I should say some are good, but some are just kind of okay. I recommend hiring someone to write the product descriptions, especially if you're outsourcing, if you're getting your products from China. This makes a huge, huge, huge difference. Unless you can write persuasively, you write your own product descriptions. But if you can't, I would hire someone else. I would hire a professional to write the product descriptions, and it's well worth the investment. Typically, you can charge more money when you have a good product description. This is included in my course as well. I have a list of all the writers that I use, as well as all the Shopify vendors, to kind of avoid any headaches hiring bad vendors. So here's a couple product descriptions from Amazon. These are excellent examples. Amazon uses a lot of bullet points. Oh, and tip, Amazon's the biggest e-commerce store on the internet, so it's kind of good to kind of see what they're doing. They probably spend, actually I know, they do spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on testing. So why not just kind of keep an eye on what they're doing? And what I notice is they use bullet points to explain their products. And as you can see, this first one, very, very good. As you can see, the capital, it's easy to kind of go through these bullet points or the bullet points are easy to go through, easy to skim. They use all capitals, and it's all benefits. All these capitals are benefits, not features. Reduce puffiness and dark circles. Restore and rejuvenate. Super anti-aging eye gel. That's kind of more of a feature, actually. Safe natural ingredients. Risk-free money-back guarantee. These are all very, very, very well written. Here's another one. 13 essential nutrients and wild-caught omega-3 fish oil. That sounds more like a feature. This one isn't as good as this one, but kind of look at what they're doing and kind of copy them, have someone write the product descriptions, have them put it in bullet points. Say, hey, can you come up with 3 bullet points for me? Hey, can you come up with 5 bullet points for me? Add something like this, a risk-free money-back guarantee. I think I have that on every product page, just to ensure trust. Oh, okay, I can always return it if I don't like it, or I don't get, or if it breaks or whatnot. So product descriptions, extremely important. And this is often overlooked for some reason. And it's so important. Again, it's an investment. You make the investment for one product one time and it works for you. You're going to see an increase in conversions. I can almost guarantee it with a proper product description, and it should pay for itself within a couple sales with the increase of conversions. So here's an image of Kevin Costner. He did a movie, I think it was in like the late 80s, early 90s, called Field of Dreams. And one of the most popular lines from that movie, or quotes, is, if you build it, they will come. Well, I can tell you for one thing, Kevin Costner doesn't know how to run an e-commerce store, because that is not the case. If you build an e-commerce store, customers will not come. Unfortunately, that is not the truth. You need to turn on the traffic. You need to send the traffic. I prefer Facebook ads to get started. There's a lot of, you can use Pinterest ads. It depends on your demographic. If it's your demographic, maybe not on Facebook, maybe they're on Pinterest more, or they're on Instagram or Google or Bing or whatever. So you have to figure out where your target market is. Again, I preferred Facebook ads and prefer to start with that, because you can get very, very targeted, very specific with things. You could target specific interests. Let's say I have a fishing store, because that's what I like to do on the week. I don't fish, but let's say I like to fish on the weekends. I go out with my buddies, my cousins. We go out on the lake. We go ice fishing. I love fishing. I can talk about fishing all day. So I'm going to start a store and sell fishing items. You can target people on Facebook who like fishing rod, reel, or lure manufacturers. You think if they like one of those manufacturers, they're probably into fishing? I would say yes. You can target people who like fishing blogs. You think if I like a fishing blog on Facebook, and then you start showing me your fishing rods, your tackle boxes, your fishing lures, things like that, I might be interested in buying it? Possibly. You can target people who like fishing magazines on Facebook. If I'm familiar with a fishing magazine and I like it on Facebook, I'd be interested in buying a fishing rod from you. You can target fishing books and or authors. You can target fishing experts and or celebrities. I know there's like fishing shows. I know there's like bass tournaments on like ESPN and things like that. So those would be the celebrities or experts in the field. I'm sure some of those people have Facebook pages. You could run advertising to people who like that specific page. The celebrity, the expert, Joe Smith, the fishing champion of 2017. He has 100,000 fans. Maybe you get your fishing rod advertising in front of those 100,000 people. Fishing shows, TV shows. Like I said, I know there's tournaments. I know there's fishing shows on ESPN as well, or there used to be. And then trade shows. I'm sure there's probably pages on Facebook you could probably target. Fishing associations. I would assume there's associations you could target on Facebook. So what you can do is run advertising to your store, to specific products, and only show it to people who like, let's say, a fishing magazine. I'm not going to see that advertisement because I don't like any fishing magazines. And that's good, because I don't like fishing, or I'm not a big fan of fishing. So I'm not going to buy the tackle box that you have on sale this week, or I'm not going to buy your set of 10 fishing lures, However, if someone reads a fishing blog and likes it on Facebook, and they see buy 20 fishing lures, for the price of 10 this week only, they might be interested in that. I would say so. So this is a lot of the questions that people ask is, will this work for me? And again, it goes back to focus. It goes back to commitment. It goes back to deciding, are you committed to success? Can you give me 90 days of focused action, tunnel vision, commit to a plan for 90 days? If yes, this is absolutely for you. You can I'm not saying you can build $1 million business in 90 days. However, you can gain a ton of traction, and you can do very, very well in 90 days. Absolutely, if you're 100% focused and you have kind of that tunnel vision on. So why do I need you? You certainly don't. All the information, honestly, you can find online. Again, this is a very simple business model. It's the mindset stuff that's going to trip you up. So you could certainly find all the information probably on YouTube and blogs and that. It'd take you a ton of time to piece it together. And then again, Are these people trustworthy? Do they know? I've made many, many, many mistakes, and I want to help you avoid those mistakes that cost me time, money, and energy. So basically, you're learning from my mistakes. So it's up to you if you need me or not. I can shave off quite a bit of time of showing you what to do, kind of a step-by-step system. Next is, I'm too busy. This is another common one. And hey, I know, understand if you got a family and you're working a full-time job, you know, and commute there and back to your job, you can to be tied up 60, 70, 80 hours a week. I get that. I ask if you cannot dedicate 2 hours per day, this business is not for you. And what I mean by 2 hours a day is on average about 10 to 12 hours per week. You know, so if you had to do 4 or 6 hours on Saturday and maybe 3 or 4 on Sunday, because Monday through Friday is a little tied up, then you could do this business. Or maybe you could do a half hour per day during the week, make up some time on Saturdays and Sundays. You could do that. But if you can't dedicate 10 to 12 hours per week on us, then you probably are too busy, and it's going to be tough to succeed. This sounds hard. This does take work. I am not saying this push button simple. You have to have thick skin. You will fail a lot with Facebook advertising. A lot of people don't tell you that part. Most people don't actually. You have to have thick skin. What I always say is fail fast, fail often, and always fail forward. Out of 10 products that you run advertisements to on Facebook, you're probably going to find 1 to 2 winners, and you're going to fail on about 7 or 8 of them. And you might find one that does okay, but you want to look for those 1 or 2 winners that you're going to make the money and double, triple, quadruple down on that, spend more time, more money on that. So yes, this is hard, but it's mainly mentally hard. The business model is actually very, very simple. It's the 6 inches between our ears that trip us up. So I don't have any money. This is another very common one. I suggest having between $750 to $1,000 to invest in advertising. If you don't have that, if you have to borrow that from your brother or your second cousin or your neighbor, this is not for you. Playing with scared money is very, very, very hard to win. So you definitely need to have like a little bit of a cushion. Not to say it's impossible to get started with $100. You certainly could. However, it's not likely. So I just want to make that clear that it's certainly possible. You could start with like $5 a day. That's how I started, with $5 a day. And when I started making a couple sales, then I went to $7 a day. And then I went to $8 a day. And then I went to $11 a day. Then I went to $17 a day. Then I went to $21 a day. Within 6 months, I was spending $1,500 plus per day. And that all started from the $5 a day. Now, it's a little bit different landscape. It's a little more competitive. It's a lot more competitive nowadays. However, if you have a good niche, and you have a good, unique selling proposition, again, I teach how to create a compelling one in my course, you could get started for as little as $5 a day and build from there. However, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take more time. Yeah, absolutely. If you only have $5 to invest a day, it's going to take more time. So $750 to $1,000 is what I recommend. You could do it with less. However, it's not likely. And if you did it with less, it's going to take quite a bit more time. So it's either going to be time or money. That's what it comes down to. You're going to put more time in. If you don't have the money, if you have the money, it's going to take less time. So that's typically what it is in like all online businesses. You're trading time or money. If you can invest in money in the coaching and the courses, you're going to save a lot of time. If you can't, then you're going to spend a lot of time learning as you go, making the mistakes on your own. So that's kind of how it breaks down, the whole time and money thing. So this is Brandon. This is the guy I had mentioned a couple slides ago. We started working together about a year ago, kind of it was one-on-one. I did not do any Facebook coaching. I was not interested in Facebook or Shopify coaching. He talked me into it. He was working in Solar City sales. He was selling solar panels in Denver, Colorado, working full time. And then he would dedicate a couple hours every night. He's a go-getter. He's 25 years old, so he can stay up later and things like that. He's a go-getter. And he did very, very, he did well. He was struggling at first. Talked to me. Generated about $51,000 in sales in his first 90 days. And he told Elon Musk to piss off. Elon Musk is the owner of Solar City, owner of Tesla, owner of PayPal, or part of PayPal. Just kidding. He didn't tell him to piss off, but that's actually how I came up with the name of this course. Brandon had messaged me in June and told me, hey man, I quit my job. I was blown away. I thought that was so cool. I'm like, that is awesome. I need to create a course on this. I somehow came up with Piss Off Boss, and it was about what I taught Brandon, and I wanted to share it into a course and share it with more people. One-on-one coaching is expensive. A lot of people don't have the time for it or the money. So Introducing Piss Off Boss, what I just talked about. So Piss Off Boss is how to launch a job-replacing e-commerce business without sacrificing your money, your sanity, or your reputation. Now, I'm not going to get all hypey. You listened to my story. You heard my story. I laid it out in the 5 very simple steps to starting your own e-commerce business without risking a ton of money up front, without stocking inventory, without losing your sanity. So Piss Off Boss is a step-by-step implementation program designed to help you launch your first profitable e-commerce store. It's going to help you create a lifestyle business from scratch with very little risk using the exact same system I showed you today. So if you want to launch a profitable e-commerce store without spending a penny on inventory, if you want to launch a profitable e-commerce store without needing thousands in startup capital, if you want to launch a profitable e-commerce store without sacrificing your money, your sanity, or your reputation, then this program is specifically for you. So here's how we're going to do it. Module 1, again, mastering your mind for success. This is the most important one. This is the foundation, and this is why it's module number 1. Module number 2 is going to be explosion of niches and profitable ideas. Module number 3, mastering Facebook ads for maximum profits. Module number 4, building a sustainable business for long-term profits. Module number 5, scaling your Facebook ads. Module number 6, leveraging beyond. So get the tools and resources you need immediately to jump to the head of the line on implementing your action plan. You get the complete 6-module system that covers all the areas you need to equip yourself and achieve your dreams that you can use immediately to finally create the life that you want. Skip the trial and error because this course has already been proven to work so that you can benefit from the mistakes of myself and the mistakes of others. So how does it work? Immediately download the first module and training materials in your members area. All modules are available so that you can work at your own pace. So this is your secret weapon to achieve clarity, empowerment, confidence, and possibly telling your boss to finally piss off. So how much? This isn't just a course. Piss Off Boss is a step-by-step implementation program that will result in a complete working e-commerce business by the time we're done. So option number 1, you could hire me for one-on-one coaching like Brandon did, and I can personally teach you. It's a 6-week program. We jump on the phone twice a week, and it's $2,500. If you're interested in that, shoot me an email, and I'll send you the application. Option number 2, you can join Piss Off Boss. You're going to get immediate access to 20 step-by-step videos that will literally walk you through the entire e-commerce building process. This is the retail price on my website. You can go to my website right now, purchase Piss Off Boss for $497. Not too bad for a complete business in a box. Here's the deal. I'm looking to help a few more dads quit their jobs. There's not much better feeling than helping someone do that. So if you're willing to invest in yourself, I am willing to invest in you. I'm going to pull out $300 of my own pocket and invest that in your future success as a Piss Off Boss student. So right now, during this training, I'm going to put $300 towards your tuition, which brings the investment down to $197. I want you to feel completely safe when you join today. So I have an absolutely industry-rattling guarantee. Not only do you have a 30-day money-back guarantee, but here's my industry-rattling guarantee. In the next 6 months, when you hit $10,000 in total sales in your Shopify store, I will buy back the program. That's right. I want you to take action. So in the next 6 months, if you generate $10,000 in total sales, I want you to reach out to me and I will buy back the program for you for $197. This isn't about the money for me. This is about your success. This is about me wanting you to take action in implementing this simple strategy to build a profitable e-commerce store. So that's my little carrot on a stick and an industry rattling guarantee. I want you to succeed, and I want to prove it to you by putting my money where my mouth is, where I will buy back the damn course once you hit $10,000 in total sales. Again, you have 6 months to do that. Plenty of time. I'm going to share a case study here in a little bit where a guy did that in his first 30 days. That is not all. In addition to your $300 discount, my industry rattling guarantee, I'm going to hook you up with a few more bonuses. So number 1 is my fast track to Shopify success. This is a couple videos, why you must have a P.O. box and where you can find a virtual one. Do not use your home address. A lot of people do that. That is absolutely horrible. You cannot use your home address. There are too many weirdos out there. You need a virtual P.O. box. I'm going to share with you how to properly set up your Shopify settings. Shopify has some great tutorials. There are a few things that they are missing, though, and I show you in this video. The 2 pages you must have in place before running any type of online advertising. If you don't have these, you can risk your account getting shut down by Facebook or Bing or Pinterest or whatever. These 2 pages are extremely important, and I see a lot of Shopify stores do not have them. Not everyone gets busted. It's typically a matter of time, though. How to customize your theme without hiring an expensive designer. The profit-producing apps I suggest when getting started. How to install your Facebook tracking pixel in less than 60 seconds so that you can properly track exactly where your sales are coming from. Which ads are working, which ads are not working. Very, very important. Bonus number 2 is a list of my Shopify vendors. You're going to get the writers, the developers, designers, and the company I use to create my store tagline or slogan, whatever you want to call it. Very important. Not many people have a slogan or tagline. I really think if you tie that in with your USP, that's how you brand yourself to stand up from your competition. Bonus number 3, I'm going to give you my list of 476 US-based suppliers and drop shippers. This covers 350 plus officially licensed items. So if you want to sell any sports teams memorabilia, any bands, any music, any, what else? Bands, music is the same thing. TV shows, movies, it covers it all. Action figures, things like that. You should be able to find it in this list of 350 officially licensed items. 80 plus are actual US-based drop shippers. So you don't have to store any inventory. They're just drop shippers. You buy it from their store. They ship it for you. Typically, most of them will brand it. We'll brand it with your logo on it as well. So you'll get that list as well. Bonus number 4 is lifetime updates and access. I just uploaded a training on the USP, on the importance of it, how to create a compelling USP. I also uploaded a worksheet on how to do it, and a few questions you must ask, or not must ask, a few questions to ask yourself about your business and how to craft that compelling, clear, concise USP. Did that recently. So updates, access, things like that. Again, there's a changing landscape, so you'll get the lifetime updates. If you want to get started, you can go to the page here. And of course, I don't have it in the chat box. I always forget this part. There we go. Just put it in the chat box. So just click on that. It should be a hyperlink. No, it's not, because I forgot the dashes here. There we go. That should be a hyperlink now. And nope. Wow, 3 times the charm, huh? There we go. 3 times the charm. Got the hyperlink. Click on it in the chat. Invest now, $197. So what you're getting 4-week personalized intensive mastermind, a $997 value, multimedia training, a $297, done for you templates and step-by-step worksheets. Looking to hire a VA? I have a template. Just copy and paste. You might have to change a couple words, but copy and paste which job sites to post these on to have people applying to work for you. A $297. That's one of the worksheets. A $297 value. 24/7 mastermind forum, networking, and support. That's priceless. Bonus number 1 is the fast track to Shopify success. A $297 value. List of Shopify vendors. A $197 value. This will help eliminate a ton of headaches. Because finding bad vendors is so time consuming and cost a ton of money. So I want to help you shortcut and give you a list of my vendors. Bonus number 3 is the list of 476 US-based suppliers. This cut out the whole China thing. You just base right here back. Well, if you're based in the States, use US-based suppliers. And then bonus number 4 is lifetime updates and access, a $297 value. So if you add that all together, it's just over it's over $2,400, just over $2,400. You can get started today for $197. So Thomas is a student of mine. He is he's a Marine in Pensacola, Florida. Works full time. As a dad to Gemma here. He was doing $100 a day in his first month in sales, and within 90 days he was having $1,000 days. He recently texted me or Facebook messaged me. He had 10 grand left over from the holiday rush, left over. So he bought a computer and some other things, reinvested in his business. He reached out to me last summer in July, told me, hey, Adam, The military wants me to sign a 4-year extension in July of 2017. I want to stay home with my daughter Gemma and my wife and be a stay-at-home dad. Can you help me do that? Thomas has told me he will not be signing that 4-year extension this July in 2017. He will be working from home and being a stay-at-home dad. Pretty damn cool. This is Jillian. This is a lady. I'm still kind of working with her. We started working together in October. Her and I both had some health problems in November. Kind of weird. We're the exact same age. We were both in the hospital like right around the same time. Different problems, but it was kind of weird that we're the same age, and within like a week of each other, we were in the hospital. Not the same hospital, but having some health problems. She was averaging $300 to $500 per day in profits. She's in a very unique, untapped niche. And she did share a screenshot. I don't have it here. She did $26,000 in sales in her first 2 months. Pretty impressive. However, in November, she was pretty much bedridden. She had some back issues, and so the doctor told her to stay in bed. So, and then she traveled. She was doing some traveling as well. So 26 grand in sales, her profit margin's around 60%, which is amazing. And being bedridden, not that bad. And then Tim, this is a guy I'd followed for years. I've looked up to this guy. He's kind of been like an idol. And I helped him actually it was in the end of 2015, I helped him. He's an internet marketer, so he does have internet marketing experience. However, he was never done an e-commerce store before, and he had zero experience with Facebook advertising. He had never ran ads. And so I helped him, and he did $10,000 in sales in his first 30 days. I think it was like $10,030. He just went over $10,000 on that 30th day. It was pretty cool. So that was awesome. Now he's a friend of mine. Pretty cool. Yeah, a guy I looked up to for years and years. I helped him get started with e-commerce, and now I call him a friend. So what you're getting, a quick recap: 4-week personalized intensive mastermind, multimedia training, done for you templates and step-by-step worksheets, 24/7 mastermind forum, networking and support, fast track to Shopify success. That's some videos on some things that Shopify sometimes doesn't cover, and just kind of some miscellaneous things, really. It just didn't fit in any of the modules. Bonus number 2 is my list of Shopify vendors. Eliminate the headache and heartbreak of hiring bad vendors. Bonus number 3 is list of 476 US-based suppliers, so you don't have to do anything, any sourcing from China. And then last but not least, lifetime updates and access, and a total value of just over $2,400. You can click the link below and get started today for $197. Not bad for basically a business in a box. I hate saying business in a box. It's so cliche, but it is. It's basically a business in a box. So that is it. That is, if you have any questions, please post in the chat. Maybe if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me via email, Facebook, whatever it is. It doesn't matter to me. Shoot me an email if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it.